why are we all so obsessed with perfection? Where has this need in society to have the perfect life, the perfect family, and the perfect body come from? With that said, let's dive into today's learning. So, where does the need to be perfect come from? Well, perhaps it's because we live in a super competitive world, where the only way to get the edge is to try and become, or at least portray yourself as perfect. With so many social media platforms, it's never been easier to start comparing yourself with everyone. Before, ignorance was bliss. Do you remember the time before mass social media? Next, we wrongly associate being perfect, whatever that actually means, with being happy and living an authentic life. We think perfection equals admiration, validation, and increases our self-worth. But the truth is, there is no such thing as perfection. So the question is, how do you combat this need to be perfect? What can you replace it with? The answer, my friends, is simply to focus on progress. My coaching clients will often hear me say, progress, not perfection. In fact, write this down and stick it on your wall. Progress, not perfection. Here's the thing, progress is elegant in its simplicity, but when compounded over time, it becomes an unstoppable force and powerful beyond measure. So why is progress so powerful? It's because it completely reframes the situation you're in. Let me give you an example. Here's what perfection sounds like. I only have one shot at this. If I fail, I'm a failure and I will quit. Versus when you choose progress, you'll say, I'll take as many shots as I need. I'll learn from every attempt and I'll get stronger and better. A key distinction for me has been, I'm not losing, I'm learning. And a famous example that is often quoted is when Thomas Edison was asked about his 1,000, quotation marks, failed experiments, he simply replied, I've learned 1,000 ways it doesn't work. Progress ensures something is done rather than nothing. Because remember guys, done is better than perfect. It lowers self-expectation, and lowering this reduces your barrier to take action. Remember, an inch of movement is better than a mile of intention. That's what perfectionists do. They wait for everything to be just right. But guys, nothing will ever be exactly right. You just have to start now. Let me give you another example. So when I started a podcast with my very good friend Indy, by the way guys, you should definitely check out our podcast on YouTube, Indy and Doctor Podcast. We drop an episode every Wednesday. Yeah, as I was saying, so when we started, we didn't have professional mics. So we recorded audio on our iPhones. We didn't have lighting, so we looked terrible. We didn't have an editor, so we spent hours and hours formatting, getting the episodes ready. And we didn't have segments, so we just spoke about random things. But here's the thing, we started, and each week we made progress, and slowly we got better equipment. We got an editor. We got better at speaking fluently on the podcast. We are by no means perfect, but we started, and we've made progress by consistently taking action. There are 2 really good books I recommend that dive into this concept of taking small, consistent actions. And those are The Slight Edge and Atomic Habits, so be sure to check them out. Now here's another cool thing about progress, or the micro wins as I like to call them. It's in progress, you'll find pockets of happiness. Remember, when you reach your goal or complete a task, you will feel happy, but it's temporary, and quickly your mind thinks, what next? I found by focusing on progress, i.e. the journey, not success, i.e. the destination, you can sustain longer periods of happiness and contentment as you fill each day with these micro wins. For example, last week for me, that was hitting 10 straight golf balls at the range and shooting 4 golds in archery. I'll leave you this, guys. There is nothing wrong with being a high achiever because you're aiming for excellence so you can accomplish something meaningful. Whereas a perfectionist is aiming to be flawless, and this void can never be filled. So here's my challenge to you. This week, take a look at some of the goals you've set yourself and just start taking some action, however small it may be. Because now you are making progress. Comment below on how it feels to make progress. I want to hear from all of you. As always, I'll leave you with my mantra, have more, do more, be more. Be sure to subscribe, share and like. Send this to one person who really needs to hear this message, and I'll see you on the next video.